So this video tutorial looks at the mathematical strand of number and place value, and more specifically we're going to focus on adding and subtracting negative numbers. So how do we add negative numbers? Well, essentially what you need to know is that when you are adding a negative number, you end up just taking that number away, and I'll use an example to explain what I mean. So let's say we've got 7 and we want to add -2. When you have a positive number or a plus, okay, a symbol, and a negative or a minus symbol next to each other, we actually rewrite that as just a negative. So we would rewrite this as 7 minus 2. So when the positive symbol is next to the negative symbol, we replace both symbols with one symbol, and this in fact becomes a negative. So we would end up with 7 take 2, and then as our final answer, we would end up with 5. Another example of this is the question, what is the answer to 5 plus -3? If we have 5 and we're adding -3, we grab the positive and the negative, and because they are different, we replace them with a negative. So we are essentially writing 5 take 3, and our answer therefore is going to be 2. So what about when we are subtracting a negative number? So let's use another example. Let's say we have 7 minus -2. That's very similar to one of the examples we had before. This time we don't have, so normally we would have a positive and a negative next to each other. This time we don't. Alright, so this time we have a negative and a negative next to each other. Now they are the same. When two symbols are the same, we take both away and we replace them with a positive. So instead of 7 take -2, it would become 7 plus 2. Alright, and that would give us an answer of 9. As another example, what is the answer to 6 take away -4? If we've got 6 take away -4, alright, we can write it as 6 take away -4. We have two minuses next to each other. We can replace that with a positive, okay, because they are the same. That gives us an answer of 10. So let's have a look at some example questions. In our first example, we have a positive and a negative next to each other. So we've got 7 plus -2. We have a positive and a negative. Therefore, we replace that with a simple negative, and our answer becomes 5. In our second example, we have 5 take away -1. When we have two negatives together, they become a positive. So we rewrite that as 5 plus 1, which becomes 6. In our third example, we have -4 adding -6. Here we have a positive and a negative next to each other, so we can rewrite that with just a simple negative, and we end up with -10. In our last example, we've got -9 take away -8. We have two negatives next to each other, so we can rewrite this as -9 plus 8, which gives us an answer of -1. Okay, you're now going to be asked to have a go at some practice questions. They're going to come up on the next slide, so when they do, if you could pause the video, have a go at them, go through the answers on the last slide. So as stated, here are the practice questions. If you can pause the video, that'd be great. Have a go at them. When you think you've got the right answer, then we'll go through the answers on the last slide. Alright, so let's see how you went. In question A, we've got 9 plus -1. Here we have a positive and a negative next to each other, so we can rewrite this as 9 take 1, which gives us an answer of 8. In question B, we had 7 minus -3, or 7 take away -3. That gives us 7 plus 3, because we have a minus and a minus next to each other, means a plus, gives us an answer of 10. In question C, we had -3 plus -2, or -2. We can rewrite this as -3 plus -2. Therefore, we have a positive and a negative next to each other. This can be rewritten as -3 take 2, which becomes minus 5. And in question D, we had negative 6 take away minus 4, which we can rewrite as negative 6 plus 4 because we had the two minuses next to each other, which becomes negative 2.